I'm Craig Curtis. I am a co-creator for Voyage Trekkers, and I also am the transmedia producer for Voyage Trekkers, which means that I handle the expanded universe content that includes the ebooks, the online stuff, the a lot of the stuff for the web series, the web page, the Choose Your Own Adventures. Along with my other duties as a Voyage Trekkers behind the scenes, I am also playing a couple of roles, including General Kang. You probably recognize me most clearly as General Kang. I don't have the cowl on or the battle armor, but he is a recurring character who I play, as well as Info, the robot. I am inside the giant robot suit, and that's me. I have written a total of 5 novels, including the Voyage Trekkers novel that's online. All of them are available as ebooks. I've written uh, 2 books of a fantasy series called Into the Realms, and I've also written a book about a sort of a spy adventure. My first novel is called Elefante Bianco. Spy adventure about a guy who goes to a small Mediterranean island country and gets entangled in some curious things. And also a book called Famous Adventures Correspondence School, set in the late '80s about a role playing geek who is introduced to a mail order academy teaching you how to become an adventurer. Nathan and I have been sci-fi fans since we were kids. So obviously we were big fans of Star Trek, big fans of Star Wars, big fans of Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon, those kind of old school sci-fi adventure stories. And obviously Star Trek was a major part of our childhood and a major part of the inspiration for Voyage Trekkers. We always wanted to do something like this ever since we started doing movies, but it always felt like it was beyond our abilities. And it really wasn't until the last few years that we figured we could make it work with very limited resources. And it was finding like minded people, passionate people, talented people willing to work for free uh, on this that made Voyage Trekkers possible, which it was never going to be possible until we got those resources together at the right time in the right place. Gambit of Chance started, it was back in 2012, the early summer of 2012, right around the time of that year's Comic Con in Phoenix, the Phoenix Comic Con, which we were attending. Uh, Nathan Blackwell, the other co creator slash director slash writer, uh, he came to me and we were going out to lunch in between Comic Con outings, and he told me, I think we should try something new with Voyage Trackers to keep everyone interested between the seasons. And I want to uh, I want you, Craig, meaning me, to create a novella that we can distribute and let everyone see for free. And it was a pretty big project because it was beyond what we had done before, which is the radio play, the Incident in Zaltera little clips, and the Choose Your Own Adventures that we would do on Facebook. They were all little things, and they might take a few days or a week or so. And a novella was obviously something that was going to take a lot longer than that. And I had also just finished my most recent novel at that point, The Empty Sea, and I was kind of ready for a break from writing uh, at that point. But at the same time, he said, "Well, take some time trying to think of some ideas for it." And the main seller was that I could write it myself and not worry about having it chopped to pieces. And said, "No, no, no, we're not doing it that way. We're doing it this way because it would be my novel, and therefore, creative control is a great thing to have periodically, and that was my main selling point. Ultimately, the idea of it was that we wanted to show the Voyage Trekkers, our characters, in a full-fledged adventure, right? Because up to this point, we just kind of see them in bits and pieces of adventure. This is just after the first season, so we wanted to see them complete adventure from start to finish, and we also wanted to kind of see them screw up in their own way. And the idea was that I wanted to create a Star Trek novel that had sort of a Star Trek plot to it, but give it to our characters, because our characters are going to behave a lot differently than Star Trek characters might, no matter which Star Trek series you're talking about. Our characters will react completely differently than they would, and so the story evolves much differently than they would, and hopefully more hilariously. As it happens, yes, there are plans in the works to do a new novella uh, following season two, after season two, uh, to uh, continue the story and also gives fans something to pay attention to after season two is over and before season three begins. And like season two, we want the next ebook that comes out to introduce elements into the next season before you get a chance to see them. Hopefully, it's well, we never want to do something where you're going to have to read the book before you watch the episodes. We never want to do that. But if you do read the book, it's hopefully a very nice treat to see what's coming in some senses in the upcoming season. And like Gambit of Chance did for season two, we hope that the new ebook that we're coming out with will have the same effect for season three. There is a whole lot that we have developed in the Voyage Trekkers universe that we haven't found a place to put in yet, and it's in a sense it's too bad, but then again it's also good because we still have a chance to introduce stuff. There's just so much. The whole getting the idea of the geography of the galactic union's, the galaxy that these characters inhabit. It's pretty vague right now. We've just made mentions here and there of the Galactic Union itself. We've mentioned Earth 3 and some of the expanded universe stuff. That's one particular backstory that I enjoy that we haven't really got a chance to explain. So I'm going to explain it here. Earth 3 is not same way that you would name a star based on how far away a planet based on how far away from the sun it is. Earth 3 is actually the third Earth. There was Earth, our Earth, which was just after the Galactic Union was formed. It was accidentally destroyed. And then, so they had to migrate all the people from Earth to New Earth, which turned out to be kind of a dump. So they abandoned New Earth and found a better world to make their new homeworld, and they're calling that Earth 3. So Earth 3 is actually the third iteration of Earth. It's not the Earth we know. It's just another Earth-like world that they renamed Earth 3 and made the human homeworld. General Kang is really an old school 1930s Republic serial villain. He is the mustache twirling, I have plans to destroy the galaxy kind of villain, and he wants to be that. He thinks he's that. He believes he is that villain, and he is really just kind of a C-lister, which is why the only nemesis he can scrounge up is Sunstrike. And he and Sunstrike are arch nemesis, but Kang thinks he can do better than Sunstrike. Sunstrike thinks he can do a lot better than Kang. And so they're just kind of, when they're together, they're kind of like just sharpening their claws with each other. They're just toying with each other because really they're just kind of waiting for a better nemesis to come along. Yes. After the season one General Kang, Clutches General Kang episode, and there was talk of potentially doing a season two where General Kang would be in. I thought, you know what? I'm gonna try and grow out a real General Kang mustache, and I worked on it for about 6 weeks, and I discovered I cannot grow a mustache to save my life. All I could get was a little bit here, so it was like a reverse Hitler mustache. I get on the sides, and that was about it. Everything else was just it was patchy and horrible and ugly, and I could not get it done. So Anyway, Kang's mustache is so big and bushy and obviously fake that if I grew a real one, people it'd be like it's like Groucho Marx with a real mustache. It's not the same thing. It's just not the same thing.